Naseem versus Ingle with Budweiser, the genuine article.
The M.E.N Arena in Manchester, venue for the big fight of the year so far in Britain. Love him or hate him, they all want to see Prince Naseem Hamed. He returns to action in Britain tonight. Every time he fights, he is a huge draw. But they're not just queuing to see Naseem here, it's a cast of big names from abroad. Their reputation precedes them, and each of the home fighters are also crowd pleasers and ticket sellers. And the crowds making their way in here know that we could be in for something very special. 3 times before, Naseem has produced big performances in this arena. He likes it here. But tonight, he has much to prove. And a very good evening to you. Big changes in the life of Naseem Hamed in the last year or so. But tonight it has to be business as usual. Fantastic record, yes, but there are people on both sides of the Atlantic who are starting to question just how good really is the Prince. And tonight, perhaps his outstanding British challenger in the other corner, Paul Ingle, 3 times a major title holder already, unbeaten and full of confidence. Barry McGuigan and Jim Watt alongside me here tonight, and already a first-class row in the hours before the fight, with Ingle threatening to return to his dressing room if Naseem Hamed's ring walk takes longer than 5 minutes, and Naseem has been here practicing.
This is a PLA watch here to say hi, asking you may answer you about the date I picked up a microphone of 10 out of 10.
That was a few hours ago. He always sees himself as a showman. Admittedly, it's not to everyone's taste, but he loves to create a spectacle, and he's promising another one tonight. He and his new trainer, Oscar Suarez, have been testing out the ring as well, and Adam Smith grabbed a word with Naseem.
Naz, how does it feel to be back in a ring?
Feels brilliant. Feels brilliant. I mean, I can't wait to fill this place out, because you know I'm going to fill it out. You know, I just can't wait for the atmosphere to be buzzing in here, because I'm ready to knock somebody out, I'm telling you now.
In this ring?
In this right ring right here. I'm talking about people screaming and going crazy. I'm setting this place alight.
You're going to enjoy the buzz again?
I can't wait, you know. Manchester is really, this arena is really for me. I love this place, man. This place, I mean...
You've had a good record here, haven't you?
I've took them all out, man, and this next one's going to be exactly the same. I just can't wait to do it.
Showmanship to one side. That sounds pretty businesslike tonight from Naseem Hamed. Do you see it that way?
Yeah, I think, but he needs to be businesslike. You know, it was time for a change in his career. He was stale mentally and physically. His last performance was lacklustre, and he wasn't his normal devastating self.
Naseem versus Ingle with Budweiser. With Budweiser.
The action's about to get underway here. It is the vacant British welterweight title fight first up, and so much to follow. With Naseem, Junior Jones and Thomas Hearns also in action here tonight. So for this opening big fight of the night, Charlie Kane from Clydebank in Scotland. He's tried to win a British title before and failed. Surely he will never get a better chance than this. And Derek Roche from Leeds, a man who's been knocking on the door for a long time, but this is the night when Roche has to prove he belongs in British title class. Our commentary team is in place at ringside now, Ian Darke and Glenn McCrory. And our Master of Ceremonies, John MacDonald, will complete the introductions.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and welcome to the Manchester Evening News Arena here in the beautiful and delightful city of Manchester. Barry Hearn and Matchroom, in association with Prince Promotions, proudly present a night of World Championship Boxing. Sponsored here by Budweiser, the undisputed, undefeated king of beers. All the officials have been appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control here present with us at ringside. Our British supervisor is John Morris, the General Secretary. Our steward in charge is Dennis Lockton. Our area representative is Ron Hackett. And we welcome our viewers joining us live around the world here on HBO's World Championship Boxing and Sky Box Office. So here we go then, sports fans, it's the British Vacant Welterweight Championship. All the officials have been appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control. Our timekeeper from Halifax is Colin Roberts. Our referee in charge of the action is Roy Francis of Kent. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you, fighting out of the red corner, he's wearing the blue trunks trimmed with white. He weighed in at 10 stone and 6 pounds. He brings a 15-fight record, 14 wins, 5 by way of knockout, and only 1 defeat. He comes to the ring as the current IBO International Welterweight Champion from Clydebank, Charlie Kane. And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, he's wearing the green tartan trunks. He weighed in at 10 stone and 6 pounds, brings an undefeated record of 19 contests, 19 wins, 11 by way of knockout. He comes to the ring as the undefeated IBO International Light Middleweight Champion from Leeds, Derek Roche. So, sports fans, stand by. 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant British Welterweight Championship.
Roy Francis, the referee. This title vacated by Jeff McCreesh, who feels he has bigger fish to fry. Derek Roche on the left, Charlie Kane from Scotland on the right. And Kane looking to break a long losing sequence. 14 consecutive defeats for Scottish boxers in British Championship fights at various weights. In fact, it's 10 years since a Scot came south of the border to beat an Englishman for a British title. That was Pat Clinton against Danny Porter at flyweight a whole decade ago. Kane, a crafty southpaw in the blue trunks from Clydebank, and in the Irish tartan, Derek Roche, who is actually from Leeds but was born in Ireland at County Wexford. He has a reputation of being more of the puncher of these two.
Right back.
And Roche has beaten a southpaw very recently in the former British welterweight champion, Del Bryan.
Kane is very much a well-schooled boxing type, tall, long arms, very good amateur pedigree, and he'll be looking to use his height and reach in this fight, use his long punches and try and keep Roche at bay and pick him off from there.
Kane in the blue trunks, who was beaten in 2 rounds when he bid for the British light welterweight title. That was against Ross Hale 4 years ago. He's won 5 in a row since then. He's a bit of an enigmatic type of character. You never quite know what kind of Charlie Kane you're going to get. Everybody in his camp hoping that tonight he really turns on what can be some quite classy boxing skills. That would be his route to victory, you'd think, Glenn.
Yes, you'd think so. He's not a big puncher, just 5 inside schedule wins in 15 fights, but he is a very good boxer. And already he's giving Roche a few problems getting into range. Roche is going to have to try and get close, and he risks getting hit on the way in.
Roche unbeaten in 19 contests, and he's put 14 of those opponents on the floor. So Kane will have to be careful about his power. Very careful.
Don't hold. Get your hands out there. Work. Pull him out.
We have the typical boxer against the puncher here. Normally that blends to make a good fight. The difference here is you've got a southpaw Kane, so whether it will blend as well, I'm not sure, because often fights like that can be difficult.
Roche got in a decent right uppercut while they worked inside, but he's finding it hard to get in range. You'll see all the time Kane trying to poke out, spear out that right jab.
Well, there's a lot of punches missing in this round.
Well, not very much happened in the round, but it was very difficult for both of them to land cleanly in that opening round. Kane, I don't know, maybe might have just shaded it on the southpaw jab. He's got a mark, you can see already, though, underneath that left eye.
Well, that's happened very early, and really there's nothing that much landed from Roche to bring that damage.
I think that's maybe where the eye damage or head damage came. There was that right uppercut. That may be where he just got that nick under the left eye.
That could have done it. It was a decent punch there. Maybe just nipped the cheekbone. Certainly really lifted the head up there. And I think that could, yes, I think that probably was the point. That was right on the side of the face. And a good punch inside from Roche.
Seconds down. Round 2.
Roche, remember, in the tartan trunks, he calls himself the Rebel. Not quite sure why that is. Kane in blue, remember, for Scotland, and his trunks decked out really in a Scottish flag type design.
Well, Roche is going to try and close the distance down. He's got to get inside close enough to get his punches on, bring them through the middle and then round the sides, all the time trying to avoid these sharp punches down the middle.
Roche has been knocking on the door and waiting for this chance for quite a while. Nice little left hand brought in there by Kane. Kane was a very good amateur. He won a Commonwealth Games gold medal, and he boxed at the Seoul Olympics as well 11 years ago.
Roche is trying to get close. He's trying to rough Kane up inside, just push him out of his style and get close and use his punches inside.
Stand back. Watch your heads. Watch on.
The referee, Roy Francis, is a little bit worried about head clashes, and you can see why, because the styles at the moment not gelling too well. A lot of messy stuff.
Time out. Stop boxing. Time out. Come here. I've said break 20 times in 3 minutes. I turn it in. Right, box on.
Roy Francis a little unhappy, and rightly so. They're getting tangled together, not releasing each other straight away. He wants a nice clean fight here.
Yes, I think Roy Francis, good refereeing really, trying to add to the spectacle of the contest. Oh, he's caught with the left hand, Kane. And on the floor, first breakthrough for Roche. Mandatory 8 count. Problems for Kane, who will now be haunted by memories of what happened in his first British title tilt.
Well, it didn't look that big of a punch, but it just caught him on the whiskers, and that was enough to put him down. Roche will be looking to get in close now and get these punches on.
A very encouraging moment for Derek Roche.
Well, Kane's the one who's looking to hold him there. Got himself free and landed that left hand, but Roche needs that room. He needs to get his punches off.
This is more the kind of fight you'd think that Roche would fancy, this close-in work. Let's have a look again at the knockdown in round 2. Here it is.
Well, it wasn't much, just catching them on the whiskers, just on the edge of the chin there, just as he's going backwards.
Looking at it again, Glenn, it was a bit better shot than we thought, I think.
It was. I think we were a little bit fooled by the speed of it. He did catch him well as he was going back. There you are, just a short little hook as he rushed forward, caught him bang on the chin there, and that took Kane on the floor.
And he's got more damage, this time by the mouth, Charlie Kane. Plus that little nick that happened in the first round. Barry Winter, the trainer, with Benny King doing the cuts there.
Round 3.
Third round for the vacant British welterweight crown, a classic weight division this. Recent champions including John H. Stracey, Colin Jones, Lloyd Hannigan, Kirkland Lang, Gary Jacobs is with us tonight, Chris Saunders and Kevin Lushing. Those last two put on a real thriller when they met for this title a couple of years back.
Hey, stand back. Box on.
Now can Roche make Kane feel the power again?
Well, Kane's going to try and get centre ring, use his long jab and bring that straight left hand through and pick Roche up coming in. Kane has to try and use a bit of lateral movement and get his way in as quick as he can and let the shots go.
Little sneak left hand there from Kane. Not really able to dominate behind that jab. There's a fair right hand again by Roche, and his power is not to be underestimated. With that knockdown, that makes it 15 out of 20 of his opponents who've tasted the canvas.
That's right, a decent right hand and left hook there.
There's blood coming from somewhere that somebody's got to cut in there. Let's have a closer look. That's just a slip, really. Roche's nose is the problem. Oh, it's another right hand. Kane getting caught by rather too many and not able to dominate from long range in the way that maybe he would have liked here.
I think there's a cut on Roche's eye, just on his cheek. Some facial damage for Roche, getting caught on the way in here from Kane.
Good left. Oh, tremendous left hand from Charlie Kane. Now it's Roche's turn to go down.
6, 7, 8.
What about that? And that's from the non-puncher, really, of the two. Beautiful straight left hand.
He's cut him, and now he's floored him. Kane suddenly turns it round in round 3. Might this be Scotland's night at long last?
Well, it's been a messy fight, but when the punches have landed, they've had the desired effect. Both men have been hurt.
Well, some drama in this one now.
Hey, stand back, right back, box on.
Well, that's a great round for Kane.
We hope you are enjoying the action with us. If you have ordered this special event and are experiencing any difficulty with our signal, please ring this number, 0990 800 888. That's 0990 800 888.
And just have a look here at this punch that Kane produces. It's an absolute peach.
Well, that was a lovely left hand straight through the middle, flush on the face, and that was a hurtful punch. Not noticed as a big banger, Charlie Kane, but good technique there, and he really landed that punch beautifully.
Big moment for Charlie Kane, that.
Seconds out, round 4.
And you wonder what's going to happen next. Roche having Kane on the floor in the second round, and then Kane reversing that process in round 3.
Get him out of there. You're holding Kane, let him out.
Classic punch, that left hand from Charlie Kane.
Well, that will have give him a bit of confidence. He's looking for the punches as Roche comes in. He's the quicker Kane, and he's getting his punches off first. Makes it difficult for Roche.
Hey, right back.
This fight would normally be top of the bill somewhere of a Saturday night with the British Championship at stake, but on this star-studded cast they're having to fight down the bill, but it's absorbing enough so far.
Don't hold, let him go, let him go.
Awful lot missing, not much clean, is there?
No, Roche is trying to get in, but he's missing with his overhand right. Needs to try and double up on that jab and then throw the right hand. Just needs to get closer.
Apart from that knockdown that he scored, Roche has not really been able to do too much so far. Kane himself, a bit tentative, isn't he, with that southpaw jab?
Yes, he's showing it from time to time and not really sticking it out with any real authority.
Very nearly another very bad head clash there. Blood from the nose now of Roche flowing more freely again.
And Roche just waiting, not getting his punches off quick enough.
Yeah, go on that.
Hey, let him go. Right go.
Kane is looking to whip in that left hand again, looking for the left cross.
Right, pull out. Pull it out.
Roy Francis yet again in his most rugged style of refereeing in there.
Yes, he really does take control in there. Very, very good referee.
And a pity we're going to be losing him quite soon. Now then, while all this has been going on, Naz has left for the arena. And look at this. Did he get a wedding invitation? He was certainly a welcome guest. And then into the stretch limo. One or two of the posters for tonight have been saying, by royal appointment.
I think that's same towards his M.E.N. He's been awarded. He looks confident. He always does. I think he feels very much at home in Manchester.
Yes, he's exuded that confidence all week and again earlier on today. How will Ingle react? He's been talking a good fight. It's all boiling up here.
Second round, round 5.
Fifth round, Charlie Kane in the blue trunks. Derek Roche, the Irishman now based in Leeds, in the tartan, the Irish tartan.
I think Roche is getting frustrated in there. He's not getting close enough to land his punches. He's got to try and come up with something else. Kane's starting to get in command, just using his boxing skills and that long jab and then bringing in the straight left hand.
Let him go.
Reach advantage too for Charlie Kane. Had a very good win, Kane, over Georgie Smith on points. He was a bit of a puncher as well. His chin held up well in that fight. That was a pretty good test, really, for this kind of challenge.
There's still an awful lot of punches missing in this fight. Accuracy is not very good.
You know, apart from the knockdowns, have to say, no classic this. so far, and that's basically because of a poor mix of styles, and that's so often the way when you get that. It's not really anybody's fault.
No, it's not really. I said earlier, sometimes when you get a boxer puncher together, it can be a classic. But then with the bring the southpaw style in with this kind of boxer like Charlie Kane, and it can be a little messy as it's proving to be.
Stop boxing. Time out.
Roy Francis is not happy. And his bootlace has come loose. Roche. And I thought there that Roy Francis was about to get them to try and clean it up again.
Well, I think it'll not be long before he does say something like that, because it has again become very messy.
There we are in this age of high technology. They still can't keep their bootlaces done up in a championship fight. Just a little sneak left hand from Roche, but I think at the moment he's really got a big problem with Kane's style. Can't seem to do anything with him. He's just got to wait and try and find an opening for his heavy-handed punching. Just a little sneak left hand there from Roche. Quite well picked, the shot. Needs to get closer. He would like this fight in a phone box if he could, Roche. That's a good left hand from Kane, and that seemed to just wobble Roche very, very slightly again.
Yes, it did. Again, a textbook left hand straight through the middle, and Roche just doesn't have a defense for that punch. I think that's Kane's gum shield he's lost at the end of the bell there.
We hope you're enjoying the action with us tonight. If you have ordered this special event and are experiencing difficulty with our signal, please ring this number, 0990 800 888. That's 0990 800 888.
Well, I think Kane's winning this at the moment.
Yes, I've got him just pulling away. I've got a 2-point margin in favour of Kane, who's just got the better boxing. He's just getting the style better and catching Roche on his way in.
I've got it by 3 points to Kane so far. There we are, headshots landed, 70 by Kane, 38 by Roche. I wonder how many they miss with.
Well, I think maybe double that.
Yeah, conservatively.
Yes, I think so. There are an awful lot of punches missing.
Kane on the right there has only had 15 contests in 8 years as a professional, which is not enough. Not really been that busy. Only the one defeat by Kane, and that was in a British Championship fight that we've mentioned against Ross Hale. He's won 14, only 5 by knockout. No kind of puncher, but with a knockdown to his credit tonight. Roche has won 2. Kane will be much the happier man in there. All of Scotland felt robbed very recently. The last time a Scot went for a British title, when Brian Carr was in the ring, and it did look as if he'd beaten Mullings that night, didn't it, for the super bantamweight title?
Yes, it did. I think the Scots will be aggrieved by that, and they'll be looking to put things right with this fight with Charlie Kane.
Good right hand from Roche, and an even better left coming back from Charlie Kane, who's the dominant partner in there at the moment. But remember that Roche does have that power. He may just be able to turn it round, spin the fight on its head with one shot.
But I think just looking at this fight, you wouldn't think that. You wouldn't think Roche was the one with the power, and you see Kane just putting them straight punches in and really rocking the head of Roche. He looks as if he packs a bit of a dig, which his record does not suggest.
Roche has been in trouble in a few fights, so he's been on the floor 4 times, and he really had a very, very big struggle with Paul Miles from Surrey. He was down twice in that one, but he found the punch to stop him. So he's had to come through the odd crisis.
Well, that might serve him well, but Kane is very experienced, mostly in the amateur ranks. Well, as you said, he travelled the world and represented Scotland with much acclaim.
Yes, he was a Scottish ABA finalist at 17. He won an ABA lightweight championship in 1988. And all those Olympic performances, Commonwealth Games gold.
Roche is trying to brawl his way close.
I think now that Roche is realising he has to do something about the way the fight is going. Meanwhile, let's go and join Adam Smith.
Well, Gary, it's an odd sort of fight, isn't it? Both being down. Styles aren't really working, are they?
No, so this fight's always about styles. It's a case of Charlie Kane's done very well. Sort of relatively easy start, got knocked down in the second round, came back well, knocked him back down, and is now, for me, just edging out in front. It's a case of it's always going to be messy, southpaw against the Roche charging in. And as long as Roche keeps charging in, Charlie will just keep tying him up. And I don't think it's going to be a spectacular fight, but as long as Charlie can keep out the way of Roche diving in with a long, big swinging right hands, he could go through it and he'll possibly win the fight.
Thanks very much, Gary.
Well, we certainly have Charlie Kane in a handy lead here. It's been no spectacular, in truth. And look at that, he's landed 40 more punches so far, according to the computer, which is normally pretty reliable. Doesn't tell you the whole story, but it's a decent little guide, and that's the way to treat it, I think. The blue trunks, and remember, of Charlie Kane. I've got him 4 points ahead at the moment, but Roche here looking to bust him up. He got through with the right hand. He's saying he slipped, but Roy Francis is saying knockdown. The right hand, I think, had got him off balance. That's a little bit controversial.
Well, I would have to agree with the referee and think that was a knockdown. It certainly was a decent right hand, pushed him off balance. He went to lean back, I thought, on the ropes and slid down them, but you know, it was a good punch.
Third count of the contest. Kane has been down twice, Roche once. Other than that, Kane has been just outboxing Roche. Not in any sensational or sizzling way, just edging it, really. Oh, looking a little bit befuddled there by the combinations.
Yes, those sharp punches really shake Roche up, don't they, when they come through the middle.
Kane apparently this week had a 3-hour session with Kevin Keegan's guru, Watt Nicol, who was used to motivate the England team recently. I wonder if Derek Roche used Eileen Drury. There's another right hand, though, going in from Roche, and this time Kane is in serious trouble. Stretched out, he gets up at 8, but he looks very tired, and he's stopped. He's not ready to go on, says Roy Francis, and it is over in the 7th round, and the Scottish jinx at British Championship level continues. Derek Roche is the new British welterweight champion, and it was the power that did it for him. The end came very suddenly.
Very suddenly. He just came in with an overhand right. It landed right on the button, and Kane went down heavily. And he really did. You said just a little while ago he was capable of finding the punch, and certainly that worked for Roche tonight. He found the punch when he most needed it, because things were not going well for him.
He's done it before in his career, he's done it tonight. Now this is that knockdown. There was a right hand, and then he goes along the ropes, and he was looking for cover. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, Roy Francis, yeah, I think you've got to say
there's
the
right hand, which was a good one. He's just trying to lean back against the ropes and doesn't quite get his footing right. I don't think he was really hurt, but it was a decent right hand there. and over he goes. I think he had to count it as a knockdown.
Kane certainly didn't think so and told Roy Francis so. You can see him arguing. Now, there's no argument about that. There's the right hand that finished the argument.
And that was a good one. Again, when he needed it, he found the accuracy. Not much throughout the fight, but when he did land, there were good punches, and that proved to be a very good one, right on the button. And Roche went down quite heavily.
Once again, Charlie Kane comes a cropper at British Championship level, and I think you can strike up a lament. There was no protest from Kane when he was stopped either.
No, there wasn't. There was a decent punch from Roche, and Kane never really argued.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, 1 minute and 37 seconds of the 7th round. Referee Roy Francis on a count-out. Your winner and the new British welterweight champion from Leeds, Roche. And please show your appreciation for a very game boxer indeed. From Clydebank, Charlie Kane.
Roche has looked like a British champion of the future for a while now, and at last he gets to the top. Well, what can Richard Evett do here tonight? An extraordinary turnaround in this young man's fortunes over the past year. He failed a brain scan only a year ago, but he's involved in the big fight of his career tonight against the outstanding world star Junior Jones at featherweight, and it's coming up in just a few moments.